Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Philly.
Last night, Mike Trout started off his 24th birthday celebration with a bang, and the Angels offense joined the party as they collected 13 hits in an 8-4 victory. Tonight, the Halos look for even more fireworks. Orioles and Angels next. It's Italian Heritage Night here at the Big A. Did you get your hat?
Not yet, almost.
Not yet. You're waiting
it's
for
on
it,
its way.
I like it. I like it. The Angels all of a sudden have won 3 of their last 4 games. They took game 1 last night. Tonight it is game 2 against the visiting Baltimore Orioles. As we take a look at the standings in the American League West, the Houston Astros continue to reel out on the road. They had a tough stretch of games against the Texas Rangers. They lost once again this afternoon to the Oakland Athletics. So a victory tonight for the Angels, and they would find themselves a half game back. As we welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and as we just pointed out to you, the Angels offense last night certainly got it going. Mike Trout started off in the first inning with a home run, the 3rd time in his career he has homered on his birthday, and C.J. Cron added a huge home run late, and it's nice to see 1 through 9 getting it done.
That's the thing, Victor, continuity in the lineup. As we take a look at our A-Team to Universe rewind, throughout the lineup there were some good swings, some power swings, and it all started with the birthday boy yesterday. Mike Trout, you mentioned 3rd home run in his 4 starts in the big leagues on his birthday, going way deep to left center field. But one of the most important at-bats in the game, Chris Iannetta, after fouling off some very tough fastballs, got another fastball, doubles to left center, driving in 2 runs, a big double for Chris Iannetta. But then the big swing of the game, C.J. Cron, a home run, 456-foot shot to left center field. You talk about a baseball screaming off the bat and going a long distance. C.J. Cron had that going last night.
Yeah, first career pinch hit home run for C.J. Cron. Let's see if the Angels offense can back up Garrett Richards, who's on the mound today. Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound for the Orioles. As we're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A, sit back and relax. We're going to bring you the lineups and the first pitch when we return. and the Orioles. The Angels with the victory last night, now 8 games over 500 at 58-50. And here at home, 35-22 on the season. Garrett Richards is ready to get it going here. And it's an interesting matchup when you talk about Richards against the Orioles and Ubaldo Jimenez against the Angels, because both guys have had their issues with each team.
It's surprising. Both have very good stuff, especially when you look at Richards with his arsenal of fastball, cut fastball, slider, curveball. You would think, especially with a lot of swing and misses potentially in the lineup for Baltimore, a lineup built around power. But he has struggled against 0-3 in his career against Baltimore with an ERA 5.70 for Garrett Richards versus Baltimore.
So Garrett's taking the field, as are the Angels. And that means we are just about ready to take a look at Buck Showalter's starting lineup for the visiting Orioles, who with the loss last night are now 55-53 on the season. They continue to struggle out on the road, 10 games under 500 at 23-33. Manny Machado leading things off at third base. Gerardo Parra in left field. He was the right fielder last night. Adam Jones at center. Chris Davis gets to start in right. Matt Wieters the DH. Jonathan Scope at second. J.J. Hardy the shortstop. Ryan Flaherty with pretty good numbers against Garrett. He will bat 8th and play first base. And Caleb Joseph gets a start behind the plate, batting 9th. Taking on Richards. His 21st start of the season is tonight. Comes in with a mark of an 11-8 record and a 3.46 ERA.
Has been very good at home, 7-2 with an ERA 2.36. My go-tos for Garrett to be successful, to get that fastball back. His last game out, 95% of his fastballs were 95 miles an hour or faster. When you look back what he's done previously, before that, 81%. So a real good fastball, very solid slider and curveball, which you'll see him use more so today against the left-handed batters for Baltimore.
Second look at the Angels defensively. David DeJesus out at left field. Mike Trout at center. Cole Calhoun in right. The infield with Connor Gillespie and Eric Ibar on the left side. Johnny Giavatelli and Albert Pujols on the right with Carlos Perez behind the plate.
And when Garrett's on his game, he's going to get a lot of ground ball action. Eric Ibar has been very good of late at home. No errors in his last 23 home games. 10 errors on the season. Has turned 43 double plays for Eric Ibar.
Richards is coming off a start which didn't throw the ball poorly. It just wasn't one of those crisp outings for him. It was against the Cleveland Indians. Picked up the win, but 4 runs on 4 hits, 7 1/3 inning. Had 11 strikeouts, matching a career high for him, and 3 walks through 109 pitches. But it was one of those starts where, yeah, you're great. You love the win. But as we've seen before, when Garrett's on, he's virtually unhittable. A tough guy to kind of track pitches. And the command was just a little bit enough off where he could not dominate.
Yeah, especially because he wasn't getting that first pitch over consistently. When he does that, wow, he can really, pitch to both sides of the plate with his two-seam fastball, his cut fastball, and that makes his slider even better.
That started off in the first inning for him against Cleveland. 26 pitches, 3 runs were given up, but the Angels came back and picked up the victory. As tonight's first pitch being delivered by the UPS store. Machado looks at a strike. Hitting .294 on the season with 23 home runs, 56 runs batted in. Machado had a 3-hit game last night with a couple of singles and a doubles. Matter of fact, the Orioles had 12 hits. The Angels had 13 as that one misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hour earlier as far as the start time on the Saturdays with the fireworks spectacular after the game. So Cole Calhoun having to deal with the sunshine in right field. And this one's lifted toward the seats and out of play. And there's 1 and 2. Trout a little bit having to deal with it.
And it's not easy for a right fielder in the beginning part of the game. Especially something hit on the line that's going to tail away from a right-handed batter. Very difficult to pick up for Cole.
Broken bat. Hopper over to Albert. He'll take it himself, and there's the first out of the ball game.
Good to see that type of movement on his fastball early on for Richards. It's a very good fastball hitting club. That doesn't mean you go away from your #1 pitch, and Richards has a great fastball. Utilize that aggressiveness against them as hitters.
Ronald Parham, 6 for 24 as an Oriole. Was hitting .328 with 9 home runs and 31 runs batted in when he got traded from Milwaukee to Baltimore. This one's the first one, a little comebacker back to the mound. 2 outs. We saw that aggressiveness, I should say, last night by the Orioles against Andrew Heaney. Heaney giving up a career high 10 hits last night.
And when you know as a hitter who you're facing, and Heaney has a very deceptive, good fastball, throws a lot of fastballs early in the count. Same thing with Richards. Why would you not swing early if you're a hitter against these 2 pitchers? Because you don't want to deal with their secondary pitches trying to make contact. It's like facing Sonny Gray. Take that first pitch fastball, and all of a sudden you're in the hole, and he's be able to use his curveball and slider against you.
So 2 outs, nobody on. Adam Jones at the plate. Jones takes upstairs. Had a 1 for 4 game last night with an RBI single. That was that ball he hit off the base of the wall and center. Trout threw him out at second. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jones 4 for 11 in his career versus Richards. Remember, the majority of those hits, including a home run, were very early in the count against him.
This one's out towards center field. This will chase Trout back. Pulls up. This one's off the wall. Jones rounding first, trying to go to second to throw in from Trout. Not in time. This time Jones gets the double. Looked like a pitch right over the heart of the plate.
Yeah, slider that didn't go down and away, went right over the middle of the plate and hit well, fortunately enough for Richards and the Angels that stayed in the yard. Slider, the backup slider. That thing goes right to the barrel of the bat, and Jones, a lot of power, giving him 20 doubles on the season, has 17 home runs, and Trout played that well again. Gets it in quickly, but this time Jones out of the batter's box a little quicker, slides in for a double.
So 2-out double puts a man in scoring position for Chris Davis. Davis at first base last night, in right field tonight. They want to pick off at second. Garrett pitching in his 8th career game against Baltimore, 4th start, 0-3 and a .570 ERA. 23 and 2/3 innings, 28 hits. Davis rolls this one, foul up the line. 0-1 count.
It's a pretty good 2-seam fastball from Richards. 96. Davis off the end of the bat.
Good lead for Jones at second with 2 outs. And Davis looks at a breaking ball for a strike. 0-2. It's Jerry Davis calling the balls and strikes tonight. He's the crew chief. Will Little at first, Tony Randazzo at second, and Phil Cuzzi over at third. There's Buck Showalter in his 6th season. 96 and 66 record last year. American League Manager of the Year. 3rd time he's won that award. Breaking ball misses low. 1-2. Breaking ball got him. Hard breaking pitch, and that was the one you were talking about with Jim Palmer before the game. If he's got that curveball going, it's a big one.
Perfect location, straight down and firm on the breaking ball.
Head to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Davis leaving that man in scoring position as we'll check out Mike Scioscia's lineup for the Halos. Game number 109. David DeJesus leading things off. He's in left field. Cole Calhoun in right. Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols in first. David Murphy the DH. Eric Ibar at short. Connor Gillespie is the third baseman. Johnny Giavitello the second baseman. So the same 8 that we saw last innings. Carlos Perez batting ninth and doing the catching as they take on the veteran right-hander Ubaldo Jimenez.
Jimenez fastballs 88-93, slider, curve, change, and a split finger fastball. My go-tos to be successful against Jimenez. Get yourself in hitters counts. When you get in hitters counts, much more successful swings. And when he makes that mistake, square up those mistakes, especially his split finger fastball when it's elevated in the strike zone.
Second time Jimenez has faced the Angels this year. Got the start and took the loss on May 16th at Camden Yards. First one in for a strike. Jimenez making his 22nd start of the year. DeJesus, a .243 hitter this season with 5 home runs, 28 RBIs. 1 for 4 game last night with an RBI single in the 6th inning. I misspoke, 1 for 5 game. And that one gets DeJesus. He's on board the hard way.
Well, Steve joked about that the other day. A big at bat when he got hit in the arm by was Kluber from Cleveland. This fastball inside, nothing you can do to square it in the back of the thigh. 6th time he has hit a batter this year. Again, his command has been an issue of late. Started off the season for Baltimore very, very good.
Yeah, he was red hot. As a matter of fact, he threw the ball well against the Angels. 7 innings, 8 hits, 6 strikeouts, no runs, and he got charged with runs late in the game. Ended up taking the loss. Angels scored 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 3 in the 9th to beat Baltimore on May 16th. First one to Cole is outside.
And falling behind the count a lot of late. 1-0 counts, hitters hit .308 against him. 12 for 39. Saw that ERA 4 starts since the All-Star break over 10.
3 of his last 4 starts, he's allowed 6 or more runs. Gave up 6 runs at 4 2/3 in his last start. That was against Detroit. Cole couldn't lay off that high one.
And you can run against him. He's allowed 17 stolen bases in 19 attempts, no pickoffs. Even though the Angels don't run a whole lot, you have to press the issue against him. Long throwing motion.
Cole chasing again. And a pitch nowhere near the strike zone. It's 1-2. Odd number, odd stat or note, I should say, for Jimenez in that last start on the 2nd of August. Went 4 2/3, gave up 6 runs on 6 hits. He'd retired 12 straight at one point from the 1st through the 5th inning.
If you're a hitter, you chase pitches out of the strike zone, especially he starts a lot of pitches at the knees and then it falls out of the zone. That's when you're running into trouble.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
I remember that one year when he was with the Rockies, he was on pace to win about 25 or more games. Sort of had an unbelievable first half of the season. And then year 2010 won 19 games, 3rd in the Cy Young Award voting.
DeJesus hit by pitches at first. Cole fouls this one back, so the count remains at 2-2. Trout on deck. DeJesus takes off. This one lifted. A third base shot headed to the seats.
Well, Hyundai key for this team to be successful against Jimenez and Baltimore. Lameek Miller going with all eyes on you. Work your counts well. When you're in hitters counts, he will give up a lot of hits and big flies. He's given up 14 home runs this year in 118 innings pitched. Majority of them are pitches when he is behind in the count.
Three infielders on the right side with Cole at the plate. The chopper toward the middle. That's Machado. Flips it over to Harding. No time to get the double play, but they do get the lead runner. So Cole reaches on the fielder's choice. One out. Trout coming up.
27.
Real nice game last night on his birthday. On board 4 of the 5 times. 2 walks, a single, a home run, and a fly ball to center. Looks at the strike.
And Trout with 33 home runs. That's a bit many, as I recall, down there in the Trout farm. He's due on one of those little split finger fastball on the inner half of the plate, maybe turns on it and gets it down to that left field corner.
Missed inside. It's up the count now. Orioles play a shallow outfield. Even Chris Davis in right field. Trout in his career 3 for 9 against Jimenez. 1 double, 1 RBI. 2-1 count. Talking about Jimenez and his tale of 2 different seasons, really. I mean, before the All-Star break, made 17 starts, a 7-4 and a 2.81 ERA. Since then, he's made 4 starts, 1-3 with a 10.61. That's on the corner, 2-2. Quick throw to first. Cole easily back. Two now. And he struck him out with a high fastball. 2 outs.
Real good location by Jimenez to go fastball up and in on Trout. Very difficult, even with Trout's bat speed, to make contact on that pitch. Joseph wanted that fastball inside, got it exactly where he wanted to, just above the belt. Tough to make contact on that pitch.
A little running action into. So Albert will bat now with 2 outs and a man at first. Pujols hitting .257, 30 home runs, 66 RBIs. 1 for 4 game last night with a single and a walk. They don't fully overshift. Scope stays on the second base side of the bag. Last night, the single that Albert picked up in that first inning was with 3 guys on the left, and he just punched one through the right side. Good rip, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Albert 6 for 22 in his career against Jimenez. 1 home run, 8 RBIs. Upstairs. Mentioned the Angels racking out 13 hits last night, scoring 8 runs. Took 2 of 3 from Cleveland. Took the opener last night against the Orioles.
Scoring early in that game. They hadn't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Scoring on that home run by Trout in the first inning.
As we said in the open, though, the biggest key is that you got contributions from outside that 2, 3, 4 spot in the order. And that's when the Angels were going good. That's how they were scoring a lot of runs. Full count. Calhoun get a head start from first with 2 outs and a full count on Albert. Runner goes. This is pulled over to third. Machado has it. Halos are done here in the first. We'll head to the second with no score.
Now it's time for Tools of the Trade. Brought to you by Ram Trucks, which is the real Garrett Richards and which is the bobblehead. Both very similar to eyes on the target, the squared up shoulders, the tuck of the glove, and the drive off the back leg. Flawless mechanics for both, and they both have been dominant. Can't tell which is the real one and which is the bobblehead.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on around here?
I can't tell. What a flawless bobblehead. That is mechanics.
Oh, my word. Matt Waiters looks at a strike.
Garrett loved that. He says, you know, that bobblehead, that really keeps that glove tucked in good. The shoulders are squared up. The eye is on the target.
Waiters trying to bunt toward third with the overshift on. 0-2 count on the DH. Hitting .264 with 5 home runs, 16 runs batted in. A little cut action on that last fastball.
We talked about his mechanics and how he's really refined the mechanics at dealing coming back from that knee injury last year. That drive towards the plate, that glove tucked in, front shoulder in, shoulders square, and that eye's right on the target.
Slightly overthrown breaking ball. 1-2. One and two. Scope on deck, then J.J. Hardy's. We are scoreless here in the second inning. Waiters a swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Perez applies the tag, and there's the first out. Hey, folks, the Angels take on the White Sox on August 18th, and that's a 7:05 start. Fans in attendance will receive a travel pillow courtesy of AAA while supplies last. Get your tickets by swinging by the Angel Stadium ticket office, or you can buy them online.
It'd be perfect for that long road trip. Going to Detroit, Cleveland, Oakland. Short flight from Cleveland and Oakland.
That's the last three city trip, right? That's that right?
Think so.
Or is it wishful thinking?
No. Your wish come true.
Jonathan Scope, the second baseman, had a 2-for-4 game last night with a home run. 2 balls, no strikes. Home run that Schoop hit last night is 8th of the year. 17 RBIs. Good breaking ball.
You have a hitter looking for a fastball and a fastball count. That's the difference over the last couple of seasons for Richards, his ability to throw a breaking ball in a fastball count.
Two on pitch. Foul back. Heads up, Jim Palmer. They had a foul ball going to their booth last night. Jim's got a brand new highlighter.
It's ready to go.
Brand new. Must have swung by CVS this morning. 2-2. Just missed, full count.
That's a pretty good pitch. Well, four-seam fastball. Carlos Perez sets a good target. Maybe just a little bit below the strike zone according to our Fox tracks, but not by much.
Little flare out the left. That'll fall in for a base hit. The second hit allowed by Garrett puts a man on, and J.J. Hardy coming to the plate. Fans, this broadcast of Angels baseball is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you to our broadcast, and as always, we thank you for your continued service to our country. Hardy hitting .240 this season. Looks at a strike. 0 for 3 night last night with a walk.
Hardy has rolled into 8 double plays this year.
One pitch out toward right center field. Cole racing over, and he's not going to get there, and it goes by him. Schoop is at third base. He's going to be waved in. The throw to the plate is not in time. It is 1-0 Orioles. Perhaps an ill-advised dive by Cole, and maybe the sunshine having something to do with that ball. Or that dive, I should say, not be able to see the baseball. That's a double for Hardy.
And Hardy going the other way. Not a bad pitch. It was down and away. And right at that point, you don't really see Cole, and then he makes that effort, the full dive. Again, almost like he's diving towards an area, not able to track that baseball real well with that sun going right into his eyes. You can see as he's going for that baseball, he goes from the sunlight into the shade, and then the ball is by him. And eventually, Schoop's able to score on that double from Hardy, his 9th double of the year.
Looks like they're checking the play at the plate, maybe. You know what?
I wonder if he ever got the foot on the plate.
They're going to challenge it.
Here's a slide, and then the back, that foot is in the air. Back foot has been no contact with the plate yet. There was no contact with the plate with any part of his foot until the tag was applied.
Yeah.
Now, whether they're going to challenge the fact that he still gives him a clear path to the plate.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure he even touched the plate.
Now, it's our understanding that they're challenging the call at the plate, but as the crew in New York looks at that play at the plate, they review the entirety of the play. So they have the opportunity to see if Perez does give Schoop a lane to slide, which appears that he does. The foot's out in front of the plate. Just so happens that the back foot hits that foot.
And at this point, there's no contact with the plate. There's no contact. See here again, that front foot His left foot is in the air. Back foot has not touched the plate yet. And it looks like that foot right there is beyond the plate. And right away, Carlos Perez is pointing that he never touched the plate. Again, there was a path to the plate for Schoop. Foot's in the air. Does it drag along? I don't think he makes any contact with the plate.
The only thing I will say that might hang things up is as he slides, you see the dirt covering the plate, right? Does it make it that much more difficult to call it a definitive view that the leg or the pant leg doesn't touch the plate? And you need that definitive view to overturn the call.
Possible.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, in theory, it looks like, yeah, he never touched the plate. But watch the dirt cover the plate here.
There's certainly not that back leg at all touching it. And, and that foot right there is over the plate. I mean, even as he stands up, that foot is elevated. And that's, I'll tell you what, that would be pretty hard to say he made any contact with the plate.
Analysts feel strong enough to challenge the call. And it's clear that Carlos gave Schoop a runway to home plate. I mean, there's plenty of room there.
Yeah, we saw that similar slide from Giavitello at second base the other day where his foot was up in the air. It looked like he had beat his front foot. And at that point, there's no contact at all with the plate.
Jerry Davis is the crew chief. He's the man that made the call at home. Phil Cuzzy, third base umpire, also with the headsets on. And stands right now. The plate-to-plate is safe and a 1-0 Orioles lead. The Angels challenging the call at home.
And it certainly doesn't look like at any point does his cleat touch the plate. Again, this is taking a while. That means there's, in their opinion, possibly there's not enough evidence to overturn the call.
And he is out. They overturn the call. 2 down. That was a gamble right there. Not because we don't think that he was not out, but that whole dirt going on the plate. I'll be curious, once we get that definitive angle, we will certainly show it to you. But that's what New York goes off of, so the call goes in the Angels' favor, and the Angels retain a challenge.
I think part of it is, too, is Carlos Perez right away pointed, saying that Schoop never touched the plate. And that allowed Mike Scioscia to be able to talk to Dino Ebel before they decided to challenge that call.
So 2 outs, Hardy at second base, scoreless is Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty, the first baseman today, swings and misses on that pitch. Hardy will take third. Got the wild pitch.
The 12th wild pitch this year for Richards.
That was an 8-4-2 putout at the plate.
So Trout now but his 5th.
That's a pass ball on Perez, not a wild pitch. 0-1 down low.
And the 5th outfield assist this year for Mike Trout. Career high for him this year. He's worked on that throw quite a bit. Even a pretty solid throw against Adam Jones again today for Trout. A lot of long tossing, improving the arm strength. If you're a kid at home, that's the best way to improve your arm strength, long tossing.
One now. There's a strike, 1-2. Jonathan Schoop thrown out at the plate. 1-2 pitch outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hardy got credit with his 9th double. No RBI. And Richards trying to keep the man at third base. Keep this game scoreless. 2-2. Full count. 31 pitches, 20 strikes for Garrett. 2 punch outs, 3 hits allowed. Three-two now. Got him looking on the outside corner. Down goes Flaherty. And no damage against Garrett Richards. Here now the definitive look that had the call overturned at the plate.
And it looked like there was never any contact with the cleat on the plate. Good tag, quick tag by Carlos Perez. We'll check out the big news from around the major leagues on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. A wild one up in Seattle, and the Jays continue to roll.
0-1 count on David Murphy, DH. He'll be followed by Eric Ibar and then Connor Gillespie. David hitting .288, 5 home runs and 28 RBIs. A couple of hits last night. Going 2 for 4. Murphy also picked up an RBI last night. This was popped up. Manny Machado, the third baseman, puts it away for the first out. Here comes Ibar. Another nice night for baseball here. 75 degrees at first pitch. Slight little breeze blowing out. Perfect for the fireworks spectacular after the game.
Absolutely.
Angels and Orioles will play one more tomorrow afternoon at 12:35, and the Angels will head off to Chicago. Seven-game road trip. 3 against the White Sox Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then 4 against Kansas City. Pull bunt toward first. Flaherty's got it. 2 down.
Right idea. Just went a little bit too far, and Flaherty's able to track that one down. But if you bring that towards second and first base, you're going to have a foot race with Jimenez, and you got a good chance of beating that play at first base. Bringing that baseball with him. It was more of an off-speed pitch. He pops it up. He gets that down in between Scope and Flaherty. That's going to be a very difficult play to make at first base.
See that bat angle start to drop. Very difficult to get the ball down on the ground. Usually code for pop-up. Even on a regular bunt, they always tell you to keep that barrel above the hands. Connor Gillespie hitting .232, the third baseman with 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. 0 for 3 last night. Just changed that pass ball that Perez got charged with back to a wild pitch.
That's what we both thought on that one. That
well, they changed it back to what we wrote down.
Yeah, exactly.
One down.
One thing early on, the hitters against Jimenez, they've been chasing a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. When you force him in the zone, especially when he's behind in the count, he becomes very hittable.
Doing him all sorts of favors here. Count remains at 1-2. Eleventh game for Connor Gillespie with the Angels. 8 for 38. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jimenez picked up a strikeout in the first inning. That was a trap on the high fastball. Two now. Missed outside, full count. Givatello waits on deck. Payoff on the way. Skewed foul. Heads up, Johnny. Givatello nowhere near the on deck circle.
I was going to say he's almost in the right-handed batter's box. Talk about a good view he's getting.
You wouldn't bark at someone like that if they did that against you, would you?
Never.
Gillespie chases the high one, and he goes down swinging. Jimenez with a 1-2-3 second. We head to the third with no score.
40 years ago. The Angels turned 6 double plays versus the New York Yankees, which equals a club record. There's a couple of names involved in that double plays. Eric Sandy Alomar Sr., Chris Chambliss, and the late Thurman Munson. But 6 double plays. It's the pitcher's best friend, the double play ball.
Yeah.
6 of them. You got a lot of friends.
Feeling pretty good about yourself that day.
Well, Nolan Ryan started that game, but was out of that game early.
Orioles setting up 9-1-2. It's Caleb Joseph, Manny Machado, and Gerardo Parra. Joseph hitting .253, 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Weeder serving as a DH tonight. Looked like Garrett, as he landed, the foot kind of spin out on him. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 hits allowed. He's picked up 3 strikeouts. Two-one count. This one's off the end of the bat to shallow right field. Giavatello racing out there, and he can't get it. It's off his glove, and it goes away from him. So Joseph ends up at second with a double.
And Cole playing deep in right field, and Giavatello going back on the baseball and off his glove and away from him. He's looking back to see where Cole is. There's no way at that point Cole's going to get to the baseball, but off the glove again of Giavatello, pulling in for a double, 11th of the season for Joseph.
He's lost his footing, but I think he was starting to go into like a little slide or something.
The only thing you can think of is anticipating Cole being closer to him to avoid more serious contact if he was.
Manny Machado grounded out of the first, so he's 0 for 1. Two balls, no strikes. Ground ball toward the hole, and that'll sneak through for a base hit. Joseph will advance to third. So first and third with nobody out, and Gerardo Parra coming up. That's 5 hits allowed by Garrett.
This is the point where you're just going to try to limit the damage. You love a ground ball double play. Trust in the offense going to score some runs. You'd be willing almost to give up a run here for a double play ball.
Parra 0 for 1. He bounced one back to the mound in the first. This one pulled, and Pujols gloves it, fires home, and they've got Joseph in a rundown. One down. The runners advance, however. Machado to third and Parra to second.
That was pretty good base running by Baltimore because of that prolonged rundown. Enabled both runners now to get into scoring position. Good hustle by Parra. A nice job by Joseph. He was kind of waving everyone around to get in a longer rundown. Nice play by Albert. Ball was scolded right at him. Quickly throws to home. And then Perez tries to run him back. Joseph, a nice job as far as getting in a long enough rundown to allow both runners to get in scoring position.
3-2-5-1 goes that put out. Second and third, 1 out. And now Adam Jones up. With first base open, you can be careful. right, with Jones. Doubled off the base of the wall in center. You had Chris Davis on deck.
Especially the numbers that Jones has against Richards. 5 for 12. Use that aggressiveness against Jones. Make him hit a pitch out of the strike zone. That got a lot of the plate, and Perez wanted that fastball away, but he dropped his elbow. Garrett did, and that ball ran inside a dangerous spot.
Double that Jones hit in the first inning, his 20th of the year. Eventually stranded as Davis struck out to end the inning. Ground ball toward short. Ibar goes to third base, and they have Parra for out number 2. The run scores, and the Orioles with a 1-0 lead. RBI for Jones, his 53rd.
Smart play by Eric. Getting that out at third. Surprised that Parra is going here, especially with the ground ball rated shortstop. Leski's able to apply the tag. Perfect decision by Eric.
I tell you what, almost a gift. You can look at it that way because it's not an easy play at first. Jones has decent speed. It's not that ball was squared up right to Eric.
It's going to be an off-balance throw to first base.
Davis fouls it off, and it's an 0-1 count. Right fielder tonight struck out swinging to end the first. One ball, one strike. Handles in the bottom of the third. We'll have 8, 9, and 1 coming up.
Good fastball, good location from Richards against a very good fastball hitter in Davis.
28 home runs, 79 runs batted in. Second in the American League in RBIs behind Josh Donaldson. One-two. Breaking ball misses low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jones over at first base. Not a very big lead for him. Mentioned earlier the Orioles don't run. They're last in the American League with 30 stolen bases. The Angels just one ahead of them. 31 Banks. Jones with 3 stolen bases, been caught 4 times, or pardon me, 1 time. So it's 3 of 4. Machado leads with 15. 2-2. Davis looked like he went around. No, he didn't. Throw gets away. The throw to second. Giavotella doesn't cover. Johnny decided not to cover second base. I thought Davis went around on the breaking ball. Full count.
Certainly been a lot of odd things happening in this game early on. Mike Scioscia not real happy about that either. See if he went. No question. Crossed the plate. Nice job by Carlos Perez blocking the baseball.
I mean, if Giavatella's on the bag, they got a pretty good chance of getting Jones.
So she's waiting around to see if they're going to challenge it. Do not.
Challenge what? Play at second?
Play at second. The baseball certainly beat him there. But it looked like he got his foot in before the tag was applied.
Yeah. Full count. Man in scoring position for Davis. And he walks him. So first free pass issued by Garrett. The runners at first and second, and Matt Wieters coming up.
Mike Butcher going to go out to talk to Richards right now. Again, you get through this inning with only 1 run allowed, especially the last couple of innings. All the things that have happened against Richards and the Angels. You would feel pretty good about that. Not much damage against you, which could have been a lot more. But you still have to get a very dangerous hitter out in Wieters.
Having to throw some extra pitches here. He's at 48 now. The 2 outs, 29 have been strikes. Wieters struck out to lead off the second. He skies this one down the left field line. Long run for Eric Ibar into foul territory. He'll make the two-handed grab to end the inning. So Richards does limit the damage to just 1 run. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Orioles up 1-0. Data strong fan you just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Orioles up 1-0. Giavatello, Perez, and DeJesus against Ubaldo Jimenez here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Giavatello hitting .266, 3 home runs, 38 RBIs. With the 4 game last night with an RBI double, a single, and a run scored. Oh, 2. Jimenez with a couple of strikeouts, 1 hit batter. Rides up and in. A lot of pitches up in the zone in the first 7 batters tonight for Jimenez. The guys just have not been able to lay off of it.
He's pitched inside pretty effectively early on in the game.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Full count.
It's a split finger fastball. He hasn't thrown many of them yet, especially at that part of the strike zone.
Full count. This one's lined to short. 1 out. Squared up, but right to J.J. Hardy. comes Carlos Perez. Fans take part in the Junior Angels Care Kits donation program. This initiative will provide Junior Angels Kids Club kits to patients of Chalk Hospital during player visits throughout the season. For more info and to donate, just go over to angels.com/Junior Angels. One out, nobody on. Carlos Perez at the plate. He will look at strike one. Carlos, a .221 average, a couple of home runs, 13 RBIs. Breaking pitch down the line, foul, just wide of the bag. No balls, 2 strikes.
So far, Jimenez has done a nice job as far as throwing first pitch strikes. Faced 9 batters, 6 first pitch strikes. He hasn't been doing that a whole lot lately, falling behind the count a lot.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Just missed down and in. He's had a couple of guys where he's gotten ahead early in a count. He's eventually gotten to 2-2 or 3-2. 4 full counts already. And that is ball 4. So Carlos works the 1-out walk. And that's the first free pass issued by the Orioles righty.
Been missed by a lot those last 2 pitches, but just slightly below the strike zone, corner of box tracks.
David DeJesus hit by a pitch in the first. One and 0. See what happens here with the Angels the second time through the order. One ball, 1 strike.
We got that call on the changeup. Looked like that was well off the outside corner.
Machado off the line at third. Orioles getting a run at the top of the inning. A little more off-speed stuff here. The fastball was pretty good for him. Especially up in the zone. Perez over at first base with the 1-out walk. Ground ball to second. Scope leads Hardy for 1, and that's a double play. So a shutdown inning for Jimenez. We head to the 4th with Baltimore leading at 1-0. mentioned one more against Baltimore tomorrow afternoon, 12:35. Jared Weaver scheduled to get the start tomorrow against former Angel Miguel Gonzalez, and it's off to Chicago, 3 against the White Sox. 3 night games there, and then a 4-game set in Kansas City beginning on Thursday night. Scope, Hardy, and Flaherty for the Orioles here in the 4th against Garrett. Jonathan Scope was singled in the 2nd inning. And for a moment had scored on the double off the bat of J.J. Hardy, but he just challenged the play at the plate. Scope was called out. Call was overturned.
So far, the Orioles have had 2 runners thrown out at home, 1 thrown out at third. Some solid defense so far for the Angels.
5 base runners in the 3rd inning, just 1 run. Scope pops it up behind the plate. Perez will have a play, makes the catch, 1 down.
He's extremely comfortable on pop-ups. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do as a catcher. Get back there and track down that pop-up. Let's play once again by Carlos Perez.
One out, nobody on for Hardy. Double his 9th of the year. And one caught the inside corner. Garrett with 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits allowed. Halo's still looking for their first hit. A couple of base runners, but no knock shit against Menace.
Garrett's a little frustrated so far early on with his mechanics. He's really jumping out quickly, especially on his breaking ball. Much better adjustment there.
Yeah, stayed right on top.
See, you did a nice job. When you're a pitcher and you feel like you're flying forward, you take a little quick walk around the mound, and then you get back in your mechanics. Great balance right there for Richard, driving towards the plate. Those shoulders were squared up, eye on the target.
Hardy strikes out, swinging on the high fastball. 2 down. 4th strikeout for Richards.
Was upstairs. Firm 4-seam fastball. Hardy had that appearance. He was looking for something off speed. Driving towards the plate. Upstairs with a fastball, and by a very good fastball hitter up in that part of the zone.
Flaherty looks at a strike. But Garrett, it's difficult already to hit against him because of the stuff. The release point kind of hides the ball well. You go back to that fastball he just threw to Hardy. Because he doesn't have the traditional backspin of a 4-seam fastball, almost has a slider type appearance to it. That's why you get a lot of action to it as well. But I can see as a hitter, especially a right-handed batter, where you're thinking, you're reading break. You see that spin, you're thinking, oh, it's going to break away from me. All of a sudden, it stays and rides at you.
It even goes running in on you. And you're trying to track that, thinking the spin of a slider, so you get the barrel of the bat on it, and you're looking out over the plate. Next thing you know, that fastball was running in and could not catch up to it. And then when you talk to Garrett, whether it's the cut fastball / 4-seam fastball or 2-seamer, sometimes depending on where his wrist is when he delivers the baseball, that's the action you get.
Flaherty goes down swinging a 1-2-3 inning. The first for Richards tonight. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Calhoun and Trout, as well as Pujols, coming up. Angels baseball is brought to you by the Dodge Charger. With an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon, this car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by the Acura It's That Kind of Summer event. Baltimore 1-0 as we start the bottom of the fourth inning. 2, 3, and 4 for the Angels. Garrett with a 1, 2, 3, fourth. Couple of strikeouts, has 5 in this ball game. Go with 1 walk and the 5 hits allowed. Cole reaching on a fielder's choice in the first. He's 0 for 1. Loops one out towards center field. Jones is there. Got that one off the plate, just off the end of the bat for the first out.
With Jones playing a shallow center field, he's very comfortable going back on the baseball. Usually makes that play on the fly ball from Calhoun.
Jimenez struck out Trout in the first inning. Got him to chase a high fastball. One of 2 strikeouts for the Orioles right-hander. Breaking ball, first pitch. Jimenez now 31 years of age, native of the Dominican Republic. 25 games, 22 starts last year. ERA under 5. This one's bounced toward third, foul. Trout fell down after that swing.
See exactly where this baseball got. Trout on the inner half of the plate. Right off the top of the foot. Trying to walk it off. Certainly a lot of discomfort right now, especially with that torque he has as he's trying to turn on that pitch on the inner half and down right off the top of the foot.
This one pulled to third. Machado has it go underneath his glove. Trout on board. Error on Machado, his 13th of the season.
And Trout still in some discomfort going down the line, but he still turned on the afterburners once that baseball got by Machado off the glove. Tried to backhand that one casually, but it's off the glove. And Trout's down to first base now for Albert Pujols. He had been very, very good, and that's the first error in quite some time for Baltimore on the road.
42nd error of the season. Now the question is, can you capitalize? See if Trout is on the move here. Albert 0 for 1 as he grounded out to Machado's first time up.
Baltimore, they're going 17 straight games on the road without an error.
Albert fouls this one back. I don't know what count. Still to get going here in the second half. A little better numbers in the month of August. Just 6 games so far.
Just looking for that time where he really squares up a baseball and go a long way.
Trout started to go and then stopped. 1 ball, 1 strike. Quick throw to first. Trout back easily.
Boy, Baltimore with Machado making that error had going. Mentioned that 17 straight games on the road without an error, which is the longest streak in the majors since at least 1914.
Trout takes off. The pitch is cut on and bounced toward third. That's a fair ball. Trout had a huge jump. Albert hacking away as the second out. Got a breaking ball. So man at scoring position, and David Murphy coming to the plate.
Well, what a huge jump for Trout. David Murphy with his numbers career-wise against Baltimore. 343, which is the 5th highest amongst active players with at least 150 or more at-bats against the club. 375 in his last 25 games. Looking for that big base hit here to tie it up.
Popped out to Machado, leading off the second. 0 for 1. Joseph going to go out and talk things over with Jimenez. Jimenez thought that pitch was a strike, and it looked like, according to our Fox tracks, that may have touched the bottom part of the zone.
And there's no question it had some movement at the lower part of the strike zone, but definitely touching the strike zone according to our Fox tracks.
Well, no, now. 2 balls, no strikes. Outfield very shallow all the way around. Parr in left, Jones in center, Davis in right. Trout the base runner at second. Off speed pitch for a strike. 2-1. Yanked foul. 2-2.
Off the plate in an all-speed pitch. He's trying to stay back long enough, let those hands have a good swing path through the baseball on the inner half when it's an all-speed pitch.
Murphy loops one foul. Had a couple of hits last night in that fashion, reaching for one and just placing it on the left side. Murphy strikes out swinging. The Angels leave a man in scoring position. 4 complete, 1-0 Orioles.
here at the Big A. Welcome back, everyone. Ken French with you now in our pregame show. I talked to Teresa here about being an usher. She's been here since 2004. She told me she's going to teach me the ropes, so she put me in the get-up here tonight. By the way, I got the name tag. I'm Thomas. I'm not Ken. They ran out of Ken, so that's another story. Right now, what we do at the top of every inning here is we get the kids up front, right behind the Angels dugout. Here's Lily. Look at Alfredo Griffin. Lily, get ready. Lily, here we go. Look at this. All right, Lily, here you go. Yes, I got my job. I did my job right here. Lily, good job. See, that's what we do here. Now what we do is, okay, is everybody in their seats where they're supposed to be? Yeah! I got it done. This is easy, guys. Let me send it back up to you. I got a lot of work to do here.
Ken French. Looked like something right out of the 1930s or something, that hat on. Should be playing a trombone with that uni.
He was fantastic. What an usher.
It looks good.
I'm looking forward to watching him singing and dancing in the 7th inning stretch.
Oh, that's right.
He gets to do it.
Is he doing it on the field? Down the line?
I sure hope so.
That'd be awesome. Caleb Joseph, Manny Machado, Gerardo Parra. 9-1-2 for Baltimore. Pulled over to third. Gillespie has it. One away. Joseph, I should say, 1 for 2. He doubled in the third. That was a little blooper out to shallow right that went off the glove of Giavitello. Back to the top of the order, Manny Machado. Garrett's retired 5 straight since the walk to Chris Davis in the 3rd inning. Machado 1 for 2 game with a ground out to Pujols and a single with a run scored. Just below the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Machado now 23 years of age. 1st round pick, 3rd overall in 2010. Limited to just 82 games last year. Now it almost got him. He's coming back from knee surgery. And then suffered a knee injury on August the 11th last year.
And it runs that fastball we talked about when he gets underneath. Especially on his cut fastball that has that type of action running inside against a right-handed batter. He's looking for a rotation going away. Instead, it's up and in.
2-2 fouled off to the right. Houston lost earlier this afternoon to Oakland 2-1. Texas defeating Seattle 11-3. It was a 3-3 game into extra innings. Unraveled for the Mariners. Quickly, too. Machado, they wanted to peel, didn't go. Full count. Toronto shut out the Yankees 6-0. Blue Jays remain red hot. Toronto now 2.5 back in the East. That's their 7th consecutive win. 3-2 out to deep left field. DeJesus is back, and that is gone on a hanging breaking ball. Machado makes it 2-0 Orioles. 24th home run of the season.
Seems to be the home runs that Garrett has given up of late have been mainly on hanging breaking balls out over the plate. That's exactly what happened there. Machado had a pretty good series going so far. It's his 5th hit of this series. 24th home run of the season. A breaking ball that's spinning out over the plate. Machado with that good power hits it out to left center field. Baltimore now 138 home runs as a team.
Especially after we saw so many foul balls to the right side late on the fastball.
Especially down and away like he was trying to throw it.
Parra looks at a strike. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. So 2-0 Orioles here in the 5th. Thirteenth home run Garrett's allowed this year. That one's out in front of the plate by about 1.5 feet.
Yeah, it's an overthrown slider.
Frustration. And Parra went down swinging on that breaking ball. 2 outs.
Going back and taking a look at that pitch Garrett Richards threw to Machado. That slider just stayed up and allowed Machado to get his weight back on the back leg and then threw and get the barrel of the bat on that hanging breaking ball. Especially after being, like you said, Victor, late on some fastballs in that sequence prior to that hanging breaking ball.
Two outs, nobody on. Here's Adam Jones. A double in the first, a fielder's choice with an RBI in the third. Ground ball towards short. Ibar has it. So we'll limit that to a solo home run. It's 2-0 Orioles as we head to the bottom of the 5th. The Angels still looking for that first hit. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Halos play from behind, down 2-0 here at the bottom of the 5th. Ibar, Gillespie, and Giavatello missing Ubaldo Jimenez. Eric looks at a slow breaking pitch for a strike. 65th pitch of the night for Jimenez. 40 have been strikes. 3 punch outs. 1 walk, 1 hit batter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Angels have not figured out Jimenez, as we pointed out. His last 4 starts have not been good at all. Broken bat, a little flare out to right center field. Chris Davis coming on, and the big right fielder makes the catch for the first out.
And also keep in mind 0-5 in his career versus the Angels, with an ERA over 5. So you have those 2 things going, but you have not pitched well over your last 4 starts, plus you have not pitched well historically against the Angels. So your confidence is not there to start with. But he's done a nice job as far as mixing and matching in his pitch. A pretty good split finger fastball off the end of the bat and breaks the bat of Eric Ibar.
And with the Orioles playing shallow in the outfield, an easy play for Davis. Gillespie skies one out toward left center field. Parr racing back. He's there, makes the catch for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down. Johnny Giavotella coming up. Orioles with a run in the third. That was that fielder's choice RBI for Adam Jones. And then Machado with the home run at the top of this inning. In those last 4 starts for Jimenez, he's given up 25 total hits. That's just over 18 innings. He's yet to allow a hit tonight.
Well, you can see as this game has progressed, he's gained a lot more confidence. Even when he's been behind in the count 1-0, he's able to come back in the count with a breaking ball.
Slow roller to short. J.J. Hardy has it. Halos go down in order. 5 complete. It is 2-0 Orioles. The 20th. Join us for Singles Night presented by the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Orange County. For just $31, receive admission into the pregame mixer, drink specials, Angel Bucks, and a chance to meet your match. For more info and to purchase those tickets, just go to angels.com/singles. Paulo Jimenez is not allowed to hit through 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit batter. And here in the 6th inning, it'll be Davis, Wieters, and Scope for the Orioles. Chris Davis, a strikeout and a walk.
The curveball today hasn't been quite as consistent for Garrett either. Slider at times that backup action, but his curveball is leaving it out in front. It's a little bit too early.
2 balls and a strike. He had a couple of good ones early on in this game, but hasn't been able to get back to it.
You know, when you leave that curveball out front like that, that's when you're going to have action off the outside part of the plate.
Davis lifts one foul and out of play. Well, Chris Davis provides souvenirs to the upper deck as easily as anyone.
That swing path he has.
Man. He's had 3 or 4 up there already. Strong cat. 2-2. And that is out to right field. Cole racing over. This one is off the wall. Davis on his way to second. And he's in there with a leadoff double.
There's a pretty good indication how strong he is. That cut fastball that didn't quite have the cut action and started drifting out over the plate. And Davis crushed it. Fortunate enough, stays in the yard. See that sound off the bat for Davis. Retrieved well by Calhoun again. Davis sliding in, running hard out of the batter's box.
19th double of the season. Leadoff man in scoring position. Matt Wieters at the plate. DHing tonight with Caleb Joseph behind the dish. First one up and away.
Remember that drill we were watching last year with Chris Davis in Baltimore, just hitting off some soft toss and hitting the ball out the other way from home plate on a soft toss, flipping out in front and driving the ball to left field out of the ballpark. He is super strong.
2 way out of the zone to start Wieters off, so it's 2-0. 83 pitches now for Garrett. 51 have been strikes. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Now 7 hits allowed.
Dropping his elbow, elevating the fastball. I gotta believe Wieters will be swinging away if he gets a fastball in his zone. Here 3-0.
On the way. He looks at a strike. This is Wieters' 43rd game of the season. Working his way back from Tommy John surgery. Full count. Very talented catcher. Good defender, good hitter. 2-time All-American out of Georgia Tech. Three-2 now. Got him to chase it. Fouls it off.
Big opportunity now for Richards to be able to get a strikeout here. Get an out, not allowing Davis to advance to third.
Slow roller to the right side. Pujols will field it. Richards is covering. And Garrett didn't get the foot on the bag. Wieters going to go to second base, and he's in there safely. Boy, serious mental mistake here by the Angels. Garrett was at the bag, just never got his foot on the bag, and then everyone fell asleep. Wieters took advantage of it.
Slow roller and a good feed from Albert to Richards, unable to make contact with the foot on the base. Then no one in position to cover the base. And Wieters, the catcher, although DH in tonight, advances to second. A very good pitch. And Richards off the mound, quickly trying to find the base, but then looking for the baseball at that point, unable to make contact with the bag.
Garrett gets charged with an error. So second and third with nobody out here. Jonathan Scope up. Angels playing their infield halfway as Cam Bedrosian starts to loosen. One to 0. Scope 1 for 2 with a single. Popped out in foul territory in the fourth. One ball, one strike. What's the play on that situation as a pitch? You just call time after a play like that?
Yeah, that's what you have to do right away. Call time. I know it's frustrating. I remember a game where David Cone, I don't know if he was with the Mets. I think he was on the New York Mets at that point on a close play at first base where he was covering the base. There was a couple guys on already. He got to the base and the umpire ruled safe, and then 2 runners came all the way around to score on David Cone because he was looking at the umpire arguing with the call. At that point, he had not asked for time, and the play just continued.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Orioles already up 2-0. A double by Davis, and now this misplay. Ball Wieters hit. 2-2 now. Scope pops it up. Left center field. Mike Trout is there. Davis will tag, come in to score. Wieters will stay at second. It's 3-0 Baltimore. Sac fly for Scope, picks up his 18th RBI.
Pretty good indication how strong Scope is. That ball was off the end of the bat, but got it deep enough into left center field to bring home Davis. So his power last in with a home run. It's the job done there with a sac fly.
So it's J.J. Hardy at the play with a man at second. Hardy 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout. Fouled back. That was a mistake pitch. Hardy jumping all over it. 1-1. Dribbler on the first base side foul. 1-2. 96 pitches for Garrett. 60 have been strikes. Struck him out with a high fastball. Down goes Hardy. 2 outs.
Twice now he's got him up. The swing at a fastball up in the zone.
Take a look at the standings, both in the West as well as the wild card. Houston lost, Texas won. Seattle lost. The Angels with a win would be a half game back. Otherwise, they would remain a game and a half back. Texas just 3 back. Toronto won earlier today. They've got that second wild card spot right now. Flaherty takes low. Orioles 2.5 back of the second wild card spot. At the start of the day, 5.5 back. in the East. 2 balls, no strikes on Flaherty, the first baseman. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. 3-0 Orioles. Top of the 6th inning. The Angels in the bottom of the inning will have 9-1-2. Perez, DeJesus, and Calhoun still looking for their first hit of the night. To 1. Ubaldo Jimenez has mystified the Angels through the first 5 innings.
But if Garrett can get through this inning with any more damage, still very much a part of this game. 100 pitches thrown for Richards, 62 strikes. Jimenez has been very good.
3-1 count. Bedrosian ready to go in the pen. If necessary, Caleb Joseph, the right-hand hitting catcher, is on deck. Wieters, the base runner at second. 3-1 now. Full count.
Sixth full count in this game for Richards.
Flaherty chops this one toward the middle. Ibar cuts in front, throws out Flaherty. That's the 3rd out of the inning. Nice play by Eric Ibar as Wieters is stranded in scoring position. Orioles tack on a run. They lead at 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Noise by Puget Sound. They scored 8 runs in the 11th to beat Seattle 11-3. And the high-flying Jays smoked the Yankees. Justin Smoke with the bases loaded in New York. Nova on the mound. Smoke a grand slam as the Blue Jays beat the Yankees 6-0. Tulowitzki a home run also in that game for the Jays.
7 in a row for Toronto.
I think they're 11-0 when Tulowitzki's in the starting lineup for Toronto.
Perez, DeJesus, and Calhoun for the Angels here in the 6th inning. We bounce it back toward the middle. Hardy to his left has it. And Perez thrown out for the first out. Carlos drew a walk back in the 3rd inning. The only free pass issued by Jimenez. The Angels still looking for that first hit. And will bring David DeJesus to the plate.
Go back to my Hyundai key for this game. All eyes on you, trying to work themselves into good hitters counts. Well, they've chased some pitches out of the strike zone, and Jimenez has been very good as far as getting ahead of the count and then utilizing that split finger fastball and slider and curveball very effectively, and even his changeup to get some easy outs.
DeJesus hit by a pitch in the first, grounded into an inning-ending double play in the third. So he is 0 for 1. And really, I'd have to say, just maybe 2 baseballs really squared up in today's game. Line out by Giavotella. And the ball that, actually 3. Pujols is ground out in the first, and Machado was hit pretty well. The ball that Trout hit that went for an error also hit pretty well. And then the line out by Giavotella. Everything else, though, fairly routine. A lot of couple broken bats already.
He's really changed speeds well between his changeup and his split finger fastball. He has both of them as an all-speed pitch.
And you get that type of swing when all of a sudden you start looking for the off speed. You get fastballs by you at 90. And again, upstairs again with that fastball.
He's been living upstairs with his fastball. Generally, when you have high fastballs, you won't see many hitters swing at changeups or split finger fastballs below the strike zone, but that has not been the case.
3 strikeouts for Jimenez and the 1 walk, 1 hit batter. Total of 4 base runners in the game. Here's the 2-2. Called strike 3, got him looking on the inside part of the plate. 2 down. Yeah, 4 strikeouts now.
Great location here, even though he wasn't setting up. Joseph on the inner part of the plate with a fastball, gets a fastball and frames it well on the inside part of the plate. The minutes continues to roll here. No hits allowed.
You mentioned that framing there by Joseph. The fact that he didn't try to jerk it back.
It's kept it
to
there.
Where he's at, just kept it right there.
Gave the umpire a view. And it's in the strike zone.
Cole swings first pitch, fouls it off. 0-1-1. Reached down the fielder's choice in the first inning and skied one in the fourth inning to Adam Jones. That was off the end of the bat. The first pitch swinging in the fourth. 3 runs, 7 hits, an error, 5 left on for the Orioles, and no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 left on for the Angels.
Usually after he throws a fastball in like that, he'll come back with a changeup.
There it is. Missing away.
Just 81 pitches thrown so far. We're in the 6th inning with 2 outs. And that has been an issue for him of late. High pitch counts early.
Yeah, I mentioned this is his 22nd start of the year. As Cole drives one out to center field. Adam Jones racing back. That's over his head. One hops the fence. Cole on his way to second, and it's a 2-out double. First hit of the night for the Angels.
And that was on that good count, a 2-1 count. Hitters hitting 364 against him in those counts, and that's a pitch right down the heart of the plate. Cole using the middle of the field and using it well. Picking up his 19th double. One hopping that wall at 396 sign.
Second time tonight the Angels have had a man reach scoring position. Here's Trout. 0 for 2. Trout struck out in the first inning, reached on the error by Machado in the fourth. One and 2. Back to the outside corner.
Struck out Trout on a fastball in. Up and in. His first at bat. I wonder if he'll try to go back inside again.
And he strikes him out with a breaking pitch, and the Angels leave a man in scoring position. 6 complete, 3-0 Orioles. Log on to MercuryInsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, the summer clearance is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th, the Orioles on top 3-0. Game 2 of a 3-game series. Garrett Richards done after 6 innings. 7 hits, including the home run to Machado. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 3 runs, all 3 earned. As Mike Scioscia hands the ball off to Cam Bedrosian here in the 7th inning. He'll be facing 9-1-2. It's our in and out. Who's in, who's out. Cam just picked up his first major league win. That was on Wednesday. The wacky walk-off. Angels defeating the Indians 4-3. Bedrosian picked up that first big league win. His 34th game. Caleb Joseph, Manny Machado, Gerardo Parra. 2 up for Baltimore here in the 7th. Joseph with a double and a ground out. Bedrosian pitching his 18th game at the major league level this year. 1-0, 4.58 ERA. 14 strikeouts, 10 walks though, and 17 2/3.
It's been the issue for Cam. This really is the command. The fastball has been very good. And making sure he stays on top of the slider, breaks that down and away.
Fastball misses.
He has great life on his fastball.
Breaking ball, and he lays off. 2-2 count. Full count. So Cam has gotten into some trouble where he's just not been able to finish off guys. 3-2. That's out toward right. One down. And be sure to follow the Angels the rest of the season with MLB.com At Bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet today.
Really the key for Cam to be successful, and he's going to be a very good reliever in the major leagues once he gets a feel for his breaking ball and or his changeup. He might be eventually that guy is a perfect candidate for a cut fastball also.
Manny Machado 2 for 3 with a single and a home run. He homered on the 3-2 pitch into fifth off Garrett, his 24th of the year. Cam threw a total of 5 pitches in Wednesday's game. Had a 1-2-3 ninth. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two. Some of the other scores: Kansas City defeating the White Sox 7-6. Cleveland all over Minnesota. Twins struggles continue in the second half, 17-4. As a progressive field. Tigers over Boston 7-6. The Rays defeating the Mets 5-4. About that dramatic win for the Mets last night against the Rays.
They're an unbelievable story right now.
Another full count for Bedrosian.
In the game today, leading the Nationals by 2.5 games. Everyone keeps saying, and the national players keep saying, that they're the team to beat in that division. But with that pitching staff that the Mets have, they're a dangerous club. Now they're finally scoring runs.
3-2 and a chopper up the middle. Giavitello not going to get there. Seeing eye single for Machado, his 3rd hit of this ball game, 6th of the series. So puts a man on for Gerardo Parra, the left fielder. 0 for 3 tonight. Angels in the bottom of the 7th with Pujols, Murphy, and Ibar coming up. Been a tough night offensively for the Angels.
Especially after all those good swings last night. Machado will run a little bit. 15 stolen bases.
Overthrown fastball at 1-2. Parr originally with the Diamondbacks, the Brewers last year. Orioles picking him up. Check in on Machado. Count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Solo runs for Baltimore in the 3rd, 5th, and 6th innings. Breaking pitch got him. Down goes Parra. 2 outs.
And one thing Weaver can take out of this game when he's watching from dugout, you see Parra swings a lot of breaking balls below the strike zone. Richards got him to swing and miss the time before. Now Bedrosian on the pitch out of the strike zone.
Adam Jones tonight 1 for 3. Double and an RBI. Machado takes off. The throw down to second, and that is easily in time. Machado gunned down for the 3rd out of the inning. Stretch time here at the Big A. The Angels with Pujols. Murphy and Ibar coming up down 3-0. Photo of the game. Tweet us your strongest fan photo to hashtag WestDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Ubaldo Jimenez back to work here in the bottom of the 7th. Gave up his one and only hit to Cole Calhoun in the 6th inning. A 2-out double. Cole stranded at second base as Trout struck out in the inning. Albert looks at a breaking ball that misses high. Pujols twice has grounded out to Machado, so he's 0 for 2. Jimenez with 5 strikeouts and 1 walk, 1 hit batter. Well, that pitch was off the plate. Jerry Davis called it a strike. 1-1.
Well, I was just going to look down and see what the hitters are doing against Jimenez on a 2-0 count. Called that one a strike well off the zone.
Jams him with a fastball, 1-2.
And keep in mind, Baltimore with no complete games this year.
That's line to left, the leadoff single. Trying to come back inside with that fastball.
Now did a nice job of bringing his hands inside the baseball to be able to get the barrel of the bat on it.
They're mentioning that Jimenez making his 22nd start. He's only really averaged just over 5 innings per start. Gets that pitch count up quickly, but tonight he's been very, very good. Here's David Murphy. Murphy 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a strikeout. There's two men in scoring position tonight. Once in the fourth, once in the sixth inning. The Angels 0 for 2. Murphy, a little flare out to left field. Parra comes in. He'll make the catch. Pujols back to first.
Parra, good read off the bat. Won a couple gold gloves playing for the Diamondbacks for the majority of those times, playing right field. But good play on that one.
Here's Ibar with 1 out, 1 on. So Parra, a two-time Gold Glove Award winner with the Diamondbacks. Change up high. Eric tried to bunt his way on in the second inning. Lined out to Flaherty at first and hit a fly ball to right in the fifth. This one headed to the seats, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The Orioles start to get some action in their bullpen. The man is now at 95 pitches.
The Angels continue to chase high pitches. And he's used that to his advantage. He'll go a little bit higher.
Yeah, sorry, Goby, but he has given the Angels plenty of pitches to hit in the zone where you could drive them, but those are the ones they've laid off of and chased the high ones. This one's fouled back. Good hack there. That one's still up high.
Yeah, upper part of the strike zone once again.
Darren O'Day, first man up for Buck Showalter. And that hit him. Ibar gets drilled with a pitch on a 1-2 count, a gift. The Angels have multiple base runners on board for the first time tonight.
Brings that tying run to the plate. Going inside. He has pitched inside quite a bit. In that just above the hip area for Eric Ibar.
Second hit batter tonight for Jimenez. Drilled to Jesus back in the first. So Connor Gillespie will bat here with 2 on, 1 out. Connor struck out in the second inning and lifted a fly ball to deep left center in the fifth. Popped him up. Left side of the infield. Infield fly rule called. 2 outs. So 2 outs now. Giavotella coming up. Gillespie now 0 for 3 tonight.
Where Johnny, a little different approach. This part of the game, that level swing he's been able to maintain through in these big moments late in the game. See if he has another big hit in him right now. That batting average from the 7th inning on, over 300 for Johnny Giavotella. First 6 innings, though, under 250.
A line out and a ground out. Both to short. 0 for 2 tonight. Next pitch be the 100 thrown by Jimenez. Johnny looks at a strike.
I believe if Johnny can reach base here, Showalter will go to the bullpen. .63 strikes of his 100 pitches thrown.
Ground ball to short. Ibar forced out, and the Angels leave a couple of men on. 7 complete. Orioles still lead at 3-0.
Head into the 8th inning. Not a lot going on offensively here. I'm Alex Curry, and make sure you stick around after the game for Angels Live. Tim Salmon and Jose Mota will join me here at the desk. Kent French will have all the interviews, hopefully some positive ones down on the field. We'll hear from Mike Sozier, get his take on this game. Take a look at the Angels lineup that hopefully comes alive here in the next couple of innings. And I caught up with the Angels' new leadoff guy, David DeJesus, today, who said he's loved his time with the Angels since joining the team. Not only is it a great clubhouse, but his wife and his 5-year-old son live out here in LA. So now he gets to see them on a daily basis during the homestands. He gets to bring his son to the ballpark, which he said makes a whole lot of difference for both him and his son. Gooby and Victor, I know you know how hard it can be when you don't see your family during the season.
It's always tough. And Alex, I think your car alarm's going off, by the way.
There's a couple out here.
Adam Jones leading things off, drives one out to right. Cole has a beat on it. Jones was at the plate when Machado was thrown out to finish off the 7th. He's retired on one pitch here to start the 8th. So we'll bring up Chris Davis, right fielder. Doubled and scored in the 6th inning. Angels have Cesar Ramos loosening in the pen. First one to Davis outside. 1 for 2 with that walk and double. Pedroza working his 2nd inning of relief. $43,000 plus here tonight. All Orioles so far. Two and two. Jimenez looks like he's going to come back out for the bottom of the 8th. 9-1-2 due up for the Angels. Full count.
Yeah, you would think the way he has thrown, why would Buck not bring him back out? I know his bullpen has been solid, but Jimenez has been very, very good.
Most pitches thrown this year, 110 for Jimenez. He was back on July the 8th and a no decision. 3-2. And he walked him. So 1 out walk puts a man on. Matt Wieters coming up.
It's the 9th full count in the game for Angel pitching. 6 from Richards and 3 from Pedroza.
Just 2 walks allowed. Like Sozier's coming out. And with Ramos ready to go to the pen, looks like they want to spin Wieters around. Pitching change. 3-0 Orioles. And Mike Scioscia goes to the bullpen, brings in Cesar Ramos. 44th game, 2-0 record, a 1.36 ERA. Cesar pitched on Wednesday and threw a total of 2 pitches, so he's well rested for tonight's performance. Wieters will spin around to hit from the right side. The DH is 0 for 3 today. Last time up, reached on that error by Garrett Richards on a little slow roller to the right side. Fortunately, that inning did not evolve into something bigger, although Davis did score on the sac fly by Schoop to make it 3-0 at that point. And that's where it stands right now. On the season, a .259 average for Wieters. Chris Davis over at first base. The first one in for a strike. Bedrosian goes an inning and a third. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Responsible for Davis over there. One ball, 1 strike. Eight hits for the Orioles, 2 for the Angels. Both teams have left 5 on base. Davis takes off. The pitch is down low. The throw to second, and it tails to the right side of the bag. And Davis picks up his first stolen base of the year.
Just guessing going on first movement. That's the way you be successful against a left-handed pitcher, just going on first movement. And the big jump slides in there for his first stolen base of the season.
Two on count with a man in scoring position now. This one's pulled to left, the base hit. Davis will be stopped at third. DeJesus gets the baseball back in, and Wieters picks up a knock. So runners at the corners now with Schoop coming to the plate. Schoop tonight 1 for 2 with a single. He's also had a sac fly, picking up his 18th RBI. First pitch swinging, lines one to center. Tries to go back on it, makes the catch. Davis will come in to score, and it's 4-0 Orioles. Second RBI of the night for Schoop.
He's hit the ball hard a couple times in this game. And of course, last night the same thing with his home run. It's a big run for Baltimore.
It's charged to Bedrosian. So an inherited run comes across. J.J. Hardy will bat now with 2 outs. A 1 for 3 game with a double and a couple of punch outs. Off the plate for ball 1. A big stolen base by Chris Davis. And the Orioles another run here. Surprise attack. Hardy pulls this one toward third. Gillespie, nice play. They'll force out Wieters, and that'll do it for the Orioles. Although they tack on a run, and the Angels trail it now 4-0. 4-0. 101 pitches, 2 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Carlos Perez, David DeJesus, and Cole Calhoun here in the 8th inning for the Angels. Carlos with a walk back in the 3rd inning and a ground out in the 6th. Angels getting their first hit in the 6th inning, a 2-out double by Cole Calhoun.
Jimenez has pitched to both sides of the plate very well tonight. All 4 quadrants of the strike zone also, especially upstairs.
A guy that has 4 starts post All-Star break, had an ERA over 10. 1 game in which he allowed 6 runs, 2 in which he allowed 7. He has kept the Angels in check tonight. This one fouled off. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Some pretty good split finger fastballs as the game has progressed. Slider's been okay, same thing with his curveball.
This one fouled back just below us. Out. Breaking pitch almost hits Perez.
Gets around that breaking ball. You see that wrist drop. And just misses Carlos.
Ground ball toward the hole. Hardy to the backhand has it. 1 down. DeJesus 0 for 2. Double play ball and a strikeout, also hit by a pitch. Oh, 1 count. No balls, 2 strikes. .112 pitches, a season high for Jimenez. And DeJesus goes down swinging for out number 2. When you talk about a stark contrast between last night and tonight. 13 hits for the Angels, 8 runs tonight, just 2 hits. They keep chasing that pitch all night.
And it's so difficult. It looks inviting as a hitter. You can square that high fastball up. It's only 90-91. Still pretty firm, but not overpowering. But it's the location of that fastball.
Double that Cole hit in the 6th inning, his 19th of the year. Over the head of Adam Jones in center, 1 hopping the fence. Go back and look at this game, and then the zone chart for Jimenez. You see the 115 pitches. A good chunk of those pitches, the upper echelon of that strike zone all night.
And not just fastballs, it's been change-ups and breaking balls upstairs also. And there he goes back upstairs once again.
He has stuck with what has worked. Guys were chasing it early on, and until the hitters made an adjustment, which they haven't, kept going with it.
If hitters will chase upstairs, it's still very difficult to square up. You'll see pop-ups and swing and misses for high elevated pitches.
Two now. Breaking pitch, a little dribble on the right side. Jimenez off the mound. Bobbles it for second, fires it at the feet of Flaherty. Makes a nice play, and the Angels go down in order.
That's a middle infielder making that play on that at first base. Flaherty, that was a low, hard fastball to first base, caught. Fielder's position to an absolute missile over to first base. Some sink action. 8 shutout innings, only 2 hits, just 1 walk and 6 strikeouts.
I think he just wanted to show his pitching coach Dave Wallace and Buck Showalter he still had some giddy up in the 8th innings to go back out for the 9th.
So that 118th pitch, not only to the plate, but the first base was still firm.
8 down and 1 for Baltimore here in the 9th inning. Flaherty, Joseph, and Machado. She's Ramos still in the game. Flaherty 0 for 3 and now 0 for his last 29. Looked like he was going to snap that 0 for 28 with that bouncer up the middle in the 6th inning, but Eric Ibar with a nice play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul back at 0 for 29, going back to July 24th.
Coming into the game, he had good numbers in his career versus Richards. 4 for 7 with a home run, .571 batting average.
And he goes down swinging on the breaking ball. 1 down. Garrett tonight gave up 3 runs on 7 hits, including the home run to Machado. Went 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. But the story tonight wasn't about Garrett giving up 3 runs. The fact that Ubaldo Jimenez had limited the Angels to no runs on just 2 hits. That is out to deep left field, hit well. Caleb Joseph makes it 5-0 with his 10th home run of the season. A no-doubter off the bat.
Down and in pitch, dropped the head of the bat. He crushes that ball out to left field. Baltimore continues to hit the long ball. 2 more home runs in this game. Pitch down and in. And that's his zone to drive the ball, and he didn't miss that one.
Second home run Ramos has allowed this year. Machado looks at a strike. A 3-hit game for Manning. He's had back-to-back 3-hit games here in the series. Home run he hit in the 5th inning, his 24th. One, make that a 4-hit game. Third hit allowed by Ramos.
And now it's time for the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. Back in the 5th inning, that same Manny Machado goes deep to left field, his 24th home run. One of his 4 hits in this game.
Orioles backed up their 12-hit performance in the loss last night with 11 hits tonight. And Gerardo Parra at the plate. He's hitless, 0 for 4. A couple of strikeouts. .12:35 start tomorrow afternoon. Jared Weaver on the mound for the Angels, coming off the disabled list after 2 rehab outings. Miguel Gonzalez will oppose him. Gonzalez will be making his 21st start of the year. He's 9-8 with a 4.32 ERA. Weaver 4-8 with a 4.75 in 15 starts. Two balls, 1 strike. Lost tonight, and the Angels will remain a game and a half back of the Astros. Lost earlier today to Oakland. Texas picked up a game of the standings, defeating the Mariners in extra innings today, 11-3. Texas now 4.5 back, and 3 back of the Angels. Ground ball to second base, hit hard enough, it should be 2. Givatella to eyeball to Pujols. Sure enough, ends the inning. We're here at the bottom of the 9th. Trout, Pujols, Murphy coming up with the Angels down 5-0. Ubaldo Jimenez is out of the ball game. David Lowe takes over in left field. Gerardo Parra moves from left to right. And it's Darren O'Day taking over on the mound. 43rd game. 5-1 and a 1.31 ERA. Ubaldo Jimenez, 8 innings, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, and looking for his first win against the Angels in his career.
O'Day fastball, not overpowering, sinks it well. 84 to 88, slider, changeup.
Trout, Pujols, and Murphy for the Halos here in the ninth. Trout tonight hitless. A couple of strikeouts, reach on an error by Machado. One. That is line to the alley in left center field. Low over to cut it off. Does so. Trout is on board with the leadoff single.
Pitch on the inner half of the plate. Stayed back on that one well. Keep his hands, brings the hands inside the body to be able to drive that ball to left field.
Albert 1 for 3, singled in his last at bat in the 7th. On the corner for a strike. Orioles have Zach Britton getting ready. Don Cheedy, their bullpen coach. One. Good lead for Trout at first. 2-1. O'Day now in his 4th season with the Orioles. He made his major league debut back in 2008 with the Angels, pitching in 30 games. A couple of really good seasons with Texas. Albert lines it out to right field. That'll get down for a hit. Parra cuts it off. Trout keeps on running to third. Well, the Angels have back-to-back hits to start this ninth.
Well, the improbable win the other day against Cleveland in the 9th inning. And Albert going with the pitch. Stayed back on that one well. Very good as far as keeping that head still and looking to drive the ball to right field. Solid swing from Albert.
Devin Murphy 0 for 3. A pop up to third, a strikeout, and a fly ball to left. Murphy pulling off that pitch. And it's an 0-1 count. I'll remember back on May 16th, although the Angels are down 5-0 here in the ninth, but in that game that Jimenez started at Camden Yards against the Angels, had a 1-0 lead. The Angels ended up coming back, winning that game, and Jimenez suffered the loss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just laying it out there. Those are just the facts.
We said this the other day against Cleveland. Looked like that game was lost. And so scored 3 in the ninth to win that one on a walk-off wild pitch. And so she still has C.J. Cron available at some point on the bench also in this inning.
Trout at third, Pujols at first. Albert takes off towards second, and Murphy lifts it out to center. Trout tagging. Coming home, the throw from Adam Jones is not in time. Sac fly for David Murphy, picks up the RBI. And I'm sure the Orioles will take a look at it downstairs.
Pretty close play. Jones with 9 outfield assists this year. That's a firm throw he threw in there. Trout with his speed. He was able to avoid the tag, but he charged that one well. Catches that right on the throwing side of his body. Got behind the baseball very well for that throw. 1-hop throw to the plate.
They're going to challenge it, and he may have gotten them.
And because the same thing we saw earlier where the foot was not quite down. See if his foot is down at any point.
Gilby, I don't know, man. That looked like he
it's
may
almost
have gotten
very
them.
similar to what we saw early in the game.
Call at the play is safe. They are challenging the call.
See if that foot is down. That front foot, left foot. Again, another angle. See, as the cleat got caught in the dirt, it ended up being up and above the plate. Back foot looks like the tag was applied before the back foot hit the plate, though. It's a good angle here. Joseph giving him clear path to the plate. Tag right there on the shoulder. Tricep area. Is that foot down? It doesn't look like the foot is down at that point.
I think he's out. Fly ball that was not hit very deep. Terrific throw by Jones. Not only that, ball tailed in toward Trout, forcing him down perhaps a little quicker than he wanted to be. Jones trying to return the favor for Trout throwing him out at second base last night. Again, the call on the field is safe. And the Orioles have challenged the call at the plate. Looks like they're getting ready to take off the headsets. We have a call. He's out. So the run comes off the board. An assist to Adam Jones, and it's 2 outs.
It's his 10th outfield assist.
So it's 5-0 with 2 outs, and Eric Ibar coming up.
See that? The path is there, but the tag is applied on that tricep area before the cleat is able to make contact with the plate. The foot is by it, but not right there on the plate.
A lot of excitement for a whole lot of nothing. Nice throw by Jones. Eric breaks his bat, loops one out to right. A base hit. Puts runners at first and second with 2 outs. Third baseman Gillespie now up. 3 hits in the inning for the Angels. Connor 0 for 3. 1 strikeout, 2 fly balls to the left side. Paulo Jimenez looking for his 9th win. Garrett Richards, if the score holds, the Angels lose, will take the loss. He is 9th. Connor pulls one over to first. Chris Davis has it. And that'll do it for the Angels as they get shut out in Game 2, 5-0.
Story of the game really is Jimenez, how well he threw the baseball. 8 shutout innings, his 2 hits allowed Baltimore with that power 2 more home runs. So they're able to even up the series in a game apiece, winning this one 5-0.
Sets up the rubber game of the series tomorrow afternoon. Jared Weaver against Miguel Gonzalez. The Orioles take Game 2. Final 5-0. Stick around. Angels Live post game coming up next.